fail. Let's do this. Are you good?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh man.
But that's okay. You'll have the video anyway. I will just check out your stream and we'll see what we can do from there.
Alright, looks like I'm putting this on YouTube since you can't.
Yup.
Alright, so
Alright.
basically
I'm gonna go ahead and stew.
Asuup and Cubit are actually scouting into almost the right direction. Like completely identical. Well, Asuup actually more going to the south, Cubit more to the north. Basically scouting right now is, I don't know, just this game of luck. Just this RNG based, you know, whatever, you know, salt, PJ salt, you know, just you need to find the right thing.
Yeah, it can feel that way at times. There are very, very slight things you can do just to kind of guess where resources are generally going to be clumped. You know, like, okay, well, carbons in craters, silicons with the sand, if there's sand on the map, small things like that. But it can be a little bit random what you can actually pull off.
Oh, wait, thanks for host.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Alright.
It's entirely reasonable. I'm not going to have a video, so why not?
Exactly. So pretty much, actually, Cubit going for Scavenger and actually taking the only one ejected carbon on the map. Going to get that 3 carbon a second. Also going to take an aluminum tile. Asuup right here as a scientific in the northeast. As a scientific, I already said that. Wow, I can't even talk. But basically, you know, normal start off. You know, getting his steel mills up. You know, getting his aluminum tile, of course. So now the game goes pretty slow. But like on this map, you know, I have pretty much like 2 big water chunks on the map. Actually, Asuup is just flying out to get a 3 stack. You have scattered, actually scattered silicon. There are like 4 silicon tiles that are completely scattered through the map.
Definitely.
So,
Which, not good access to silicon, but these nice big clumps of water that both players are going to have easy access to.
Yeah,
and I guess a third in case they need it.
Yeah, but so like, what would you like predict right now on this map? Like, who's in the favor right now in this map?
Well, Asuup got a pretty decent found position. He's a little bit tucked into a corner, which can be a bit of a concern. But he went scientific to deal with the low quantities of iron he had available to him. Hopefully that's going to work out. Generally, I am a bit concerned. Like, neither player has a fantastic spot, right? They're both just kind of working with what they found when it comes to those upgrade resources. I'm a little concerned about Cubit's decision to go scavenger on a map with not a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
Like, I worry that if Asuup spots that, and he kind of reads the game very, very well, he might just underground nuke out all the carbon that Cubit has access to and just strangle him out of that resource.
Yeah, nukes right now are, you know, definitely a big thing. Like, Asuup is not scared to use the black market, as we've seen as he played his round of 32, his very first series. But basically, I don't know, I'm kind of confused right now, you know, going scientific and actually taking a iron mine and another steel mill just because he's not making enough steel.
Yeah, I think it is very interesting going for the iron mine. It means that he's getting only a very small benefit out of the fact that he's scientific, but he is going to have very, very good steel production, 3 a second, equal to the scavenger player's carbon income, so he'll be able to upgrade much faster, as you generally require less steel than you do carbon. But he did have to commit a large number of tiles to it because of his particular founding location. And that's more of my concern right now. Yeah. It's just the fact that he has 4 tiles as a scientific player committed to steel, really. He's only getting 3 steel a second and then like 1 extra iron a second from that last tile.
Cubit actually right now going for that 3rd carbon mine actually, actually having all the carbon on the map, making 4 carbon a second, but you know, the problem is with scavenger right now, I mean, like, the problem in general with scavenger is that you need a lot of carbon to even attempt to upgrade. It's just so much carbon you need, like, even in late game, like, some scavengers actually don't even upgrade to level 5 because, you know, they need that much carbon. So, you know, it's, like, in maps like these, right, where you have, like, 3 carbon tiles, each of them are 1 stack, it's, like, definitely, like, you know, that's what's true. Like, you can't even upgrade as quick as somebody else right now.
We'll
So, Asuup and Cubit actually already both level 3 right now. Cubit actually quite ahead. I don't see really any power for him right now. Asuup actually already having 2 wind turbines, so that is actually making, you know, not much money for him, but it's actually covering his debt. So,
Yeah.
that, you know,
Which could be very useful, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. Like, definitely a plus point there.
Another thing to note is that the wind turbines are very well positioned for a potential superconductor if that's going to be important at all this game, depending on how much Cubit delays his power, how much Asuup wants to be able to make use of it. Could be very interesting. Also very important is, apparently we've got an aluminum shortage coming in. I believe the pirates were purchased by Asuup earlier, and they've been being used to kind of take away Cubit's aluminum income in particular. So this shortage could work very much in Asuup's favor.
The problem with that is actually Asuup just upgraded, so he doesn't really have a carbon stockpile. Cubit actually buying over 100 aluminium, so he's actually going to make, I'd say, more money than Asuup is, and he even, you know, bought the pirates for like 16,000. If I
That is the
recall that.
concern about the being against a scavenger.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult to fight those shorts.
So actually, right now, I think, you know, Cubit made more money on that for sure.
Temporarily, but Asuup might be able to keep. I don't know how much longer those pirates are going to be up, but it'll depend on exactly how high that aluminum price stays up. $60 is definitely nothing to sneeze at for aluminum, and so we'll just have to see how that goes. Cubit, interestingly, responding with another aluminum mine.
Yep.
That is a lot of tiles.
Also saving up, you know, some silicon actually, with, you know, getting 3 glass furnaces up and early, quicker than Asuup right now. So Cubit will actually have this money, you know, this income from these glass furnaces. You know,
Yeah.
slowly but surely, Cubit is actually, you know, going to crawl ahead. The only problem is Asuup will, you know, actually come out of this really early on because he has power. Cubit still doesn't have any sorts of power.
Yes.
And the power price right now is at 110. And, you know, I don't know. It's going to be chipping away on Cubit for sure.
And it looks like, to me, like Asuup isn't really headed for an upgrade anytime soon. He seems to be selling off his store of aluminum and trying to use that to make some money rather than heading for an upgrade. So I have to wonder if he's going to go on the offensive very, very soon, trying to rely on the fact that Cubit has been not very aggressive when it comes to power. They're letting power go through the roof, and they're both going to be developing huge amounts of debt before long, potentially. Because even Asuup, his power is not covering his debt at all. He's losing so much from life support. Oh, no, never mind. He did hit level 4 right beforehand. I see what's going on. He is going to make that move into life support resources. This is exactly what I expected to see out of Asuup, is these reactors that came down.
Yeah. And Cubit actually right behind him with also level 4 upgrade. Actually, Asuup is actually the only one really using the offensive black market right now. This is actually really surprising. Like, usually you would think, you know, scavenger, you know, black market cooldown. And the thing is, in 1 versus 1, the game is a lot different. Because the black market starts off, you know, actually more expensive. Yeah, more expensive, and you actually need to get to the point where you have the money to even purchase something.
And my other big thing, I can understand Cubit. I believe he has been making use of the black market to some degree. As we've seen, we have many claims bought up, or at least 2 claims purchased, 2 goon squads purchased altogether. I have to imagine 1 or 2 of those claims went to Cubit, and so he's focusing perhaps a bit more defensively than offensively, purely because he's going to be against a scientist, and black market just always feels so ineffective against a scientific colony.
Actually, 3 claims purchased.
3 claims now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that up to 12,000 at this point?
No, it's 9,000 because it always jumps up from 4 to 6 to wait, what?
4 to 6 to 9.
Oh, sorry.
That's how it should work. So 2 purchases, I believe. But
I totally screwed that up. But actually, basically, Cubit right now, with the RNG on this map, actually getting the glass shortage, that is really surprising. That is, you know,
going to be very helpful for him.
That might swing, you know, that might bring back in this game. Cubit right now actually going, you know, full on power, making 3 solar panels, actually scrapping the reactors and making 3 solar panels. I think that can be, I don't know. Seems
well, he's going to try and make this play on power. I imagine. I think we have a patent lab going up. I would be a little bit surprised if that wasn't superconductor and we were just going to see a massive power play coming out.
It is right now minus 50% power consumption for the first one. Then the second one
perpetual
is,
motion.
Yeah.
Similar idea.
And
Similar
then,
idea that's superconductor, but
superconductor.
makes more sense with the solar panels. Okay, so yeah, he's just doing both.
Yeah,
That's
basically what you're doing. Okay, that you like to. I've watched the stream. You like to do this. You like to make those nifty power plays. Yeah.
Sometimes. Also worth noting that at this point, Asuup definitely scared Cubit. He bought a couple shares in Cubit,
and Cubit
just completely bought up himself. Exactly. And even despite that, Cubit's stock price very, very low compared to Asuup. So I'm wondering what his debt is right now.
Cubit's debt right now is 50,000. Wait, what? No. 124,000. Sorry, was actually looking at the wrong person. But here's the thing. Right now, both of them are making glass. So Cubit still doesn't have this glass advantage that he had before. Like I have
to wonder about that hacker array. Is that going to be a power surplus? Because that could be completely destructive this game.
No, it's carbon.
It's carbon short.
The black market is online.
I'm a little concerned about that. Anyway, go ahead, continue.
Well, the thing is right now, right? Like Asuup just needs 20,000 to buy out Cubit. Actually, he already can buy him out. He actually can.
We caught a dirty
game over.
rat trying to break out.
Can he? Asuup should need a lot more than that.
No, I don't know why. But this system of switching back to people back and forth sometimes is a little confusing. I need to say that. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. I think it's going to be at least 80,000 for the buyout, right?
Yeah. 78.
Okay.
But yeah, like,
sounds about right. So this power play, everything that's going on here, could be really, really important in this game, especially because we actually saw a mutiny on the hacker array.
Yep.
And we'll have to see if Asuup can make good use of that.
Yeah, right now, 2 energy shortages going down right now for Asuup. The second one maybe will not go through, just because he's like 1 or 2 seconds too late. But basically, Asuup was making right now like 1.3k in power right now. So, Asuup, with 16,000 in debt, actually going down really rapidly because he has that superconductor and he has those windmills. He's actually pretty much crashing the power price, going back into favor of Cubit, but Cubit already got so much debt over time that it will definitely not pay off.
Yeah, Cubit responded to it as best as he could, certainly, getting up those solar panels, but I don't know if it was enough. His debt's just so high.
Let's say that, yeah. But yeah,
debt at 150,000 at this stage of the game, not something you want to be looking at. That stock price is probably just going to keep plummeting for some time.
Yeah, this is pretty much a death spiral in the early game. Cubit actually going for them farms right now, actually selling his glass furnaces. Because silicon right now is actually worth quite
expensive.
A bit.
Oh,
and also, the second shortage on the carbon just went down. So, carbon right now is also a little bit worth right now.
And he has a large amount of it, that's for sure.
We're now almost passing 200.
Hackers have compromised the trading servers.
We'll see if he can make a play off of this. It's definitely beefing up his stock price in the short term just from having that many resources sitting around. But I have to wonder if it's going to be enough to take down Asuup.
Cubit actually tried to pay off his
debt.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't.
That's risky.
That's the thing, but what else can he do right now at this point? He can't really do anything else because, like, if he doesn't do it, Asuup will actually, will need less money.
It depends. It's certainly a questionable thing to me. If you're going to do something like that, you are really playing for the super long term, and I worry that long term, Cubit might not be able to hold out against Asuup since he's just gotten himself in such a good position. He's got all this water coming in. I think the pirates have finally been beaten down. Water's insanely expensive. We might be seeing a water short coming up. Wouldn't surprise me at all with how much is being consumed by Cubit right now.
Actually, Cubit just bought 60% of Asuup.
All right. Well, that's the play he had.
Now, here's the thing. He can buy the last one. I don't know why he's not... Okay, there he goes. He has 70% of Cubit right now. And Asuup right now is 80% of Cubit. So
Well,
this.
Asuup has 20% of Cubit. Cubit definitely has the stock lead at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
No question about that. Put himself into a great position. His stock price is not as bad as it was before with his large stockpile of resources, but I'm still very concerned about the fact that Asuup's is still double Cubits. I don't know if he'll be able to make the money in time to make this happen, especially because Asuup has simply let the water price go exceptionally high.
Asuup
I am
actually
curious.
getting those solar panels out of the way and actually making reactors again. I don't know, like, definitely the high water right now is definitely in the favor of Cubit because, you know, he actually just was pumping out water and just, you know, fueling his reactors, not doing really much. You know, he didn't have to farms up for quite a while, so water play definitely going in favor of Cubit. And Asuup right now, you know, with them reactors, I actually think it might be a little bit too late because Asuup actually, you know, Cubit is at 75% to buying him out. So Cubit right now, although he has all this debt, he just, you know, made the right plays and just crawled back into this game.
I'm curious at this point. It looks like Cubit's stock price still plummeting. I'm still very concerned about that because how much does Asuup actually need to finish that buyout at this point? And could any of these shortages that have been going down push him to it if he's using them well?
Well, here's the thing. Cubit has 100% on Asuup right now. Actually,
Ooh, interesting. So he just has to notice it.
well, no, the thing is, Cubit just sold one of his stocks. And where's the buyout? Just looking for the buyout right now. And there you go, Cubit wins. So the thing is, right now, I think Cubit could, if the game would have continued, Cubit could have gone back to glass because there was a natural glass shortage. So that could have been really, really interesting to see. But definitely, Cubit right there, really well played, crawling back into the game with over 150,000 in debt in 1 versus 1. So that is definitely, you know.
Yeah, I
quite
worry
impressive.
about some of the things Asuup did there. In particular, I can understand the concept of wanting to like short power and try and make everything work. But what I would have loved to see is if he's going to make a power play like that, just turn off all of his auto sell on power. Let the power price go so insanely high that there's no way Cubit can get any benefit out of it, and then tank it so fast because you have access to things like superconductor and perpetual motion once he's made that shift. Because Cubit didn't get a whole lot of auto sell on power, but he didn't have to auto purchase a whole lot either. And that definitely could have been forced if Asuup had wanted to.
Yep, Cubit purchased $43,000 in power, so you know that's also a thing. And yeah, you actually can see like Cubit, so a lot in fuel, and you know a lot of carbon and a lot of glass. So I think that's, you know, what brought him back in the game.
Well, that carbon short ended up working out. Interestingly enough, it being delayed by Asuup, possibly helping out Cubit a bit just in developing a very, very, very large store. And then Asuup didn't try to play against any of what Cubit was doing with the hack array. He simply tried to make his own play work. Whereas Cubit, it felt like, was being far more sensitive to what Asuup may be doing with his hack array and actually making the appropriate counterplays.
So Asuup right now is saying in chat that he actually bought windmills. He actually had 4 pieces. So he actually bought a lot of carbon to rise that price even higher. But
Yeah.
let's actually talk about the black market for a second. This is really interesting. Asuup right now, he used quite a bit of the black market, actually, like 30,000 in power surges. Overall, he used 9 items off the black market, combining to 67,000. And Cubit actually at 79,000 with 10 items. You know, that's actually, you know, for 1 versus 1, that's actually a lot of black market plays.
Yes, that is a fair amount of black market going down. But once again, I would have loved to see something like underground nukes all over Cubit, right? We saw how huge carbon became in the middle of that game, and if Cubit hadn't had access to that, I don't know what he would have done. Realistically, he's needing it to just change up his buildings, to switch production, and I really would have loved to see, if we're going to go with black market, instead the aluminum got targeted with stuff like power surges. I think permanent hits based off of those underground nukes could have been a far better use.
Yeah, indeed. All right, off to the game 2, I guess. Or do you still want to say
Sounds good to me.
something? Do you still want to say something about this game?
No, I think we're good. I think we can go ahead and move on if they're ready.